The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Pod Bros Network. You can find us, as well as other fine shows such as The Guy Huddle, Language of Bromance, and Dave's Nerd Compendium at podbros.com, and on Twitter at PodBrosNetwork. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Blokebusters podcast.
Welcome to episode 55 of the Blokebusters podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Paul.
And today we will be discussing the film Black Mass.
Yes, we will. So, first and foremost, to get this out of the way, do follow us on Twitter at Blokebusters, Facebook.com/Blokebusters. We have an email if you want to get a hold of us over anything, and at blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com. We do have a website, blokebusters.webs.com. I think I'm getting better at keeping it up to date now.
Great.
So
Excellent.
Looking nice. Alright, so let's just do nuts and bolts quick before we jump into the murky waters of the cast. We have a director, Mr. Scott Cooper, and the budget was $53 million, and 10 days after its release, it is holding at $43,263,179 US dollars, obviously, and I believe I'm right in saying that as of this point, only $655,000 of that is foreign. The rest is all domestic.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It'll, I think, be in the theaters for a while. I imagine. So they're going to recoup their expenses, I think, just in the cinema. So,
yeah.
They're almost there already. So
yes, I'm sure that once it releases everywhere, it'll pick up steam.
Most definitely. Okay, so the cast.
The cast. Right.
Maybe we'll have some time to talk about the film after we get through the cast.
So I have written who I kind of judge as some of the main people down, and I believe Brian has a more extensive list.
Yeah, I can go rapid fire on those.
So obviously Johnny Depp is James Whitey Bulger, or Jimmy, and I got our favourite actor Benedict Cumberbatch down as William or Billy Bulger. Joel Edgerton as John Connolly, and Jesse Plemons, I hope I'm saying that right.
I believe so.
As Kevin Weeks. Those are the four I've written down.
And then who
else was in this?
You can't leave out the Bacon. Mr. Kevin Bacon as Charles Maguire. I have Rory Cochrane as Steve Fleming. Dakota Johnson, Lindsay Sear, his girlfriend or mother to his child.
Whatever that.
Yeah, very brief. Yeah, and then Julianne Nicholson plays John Connolly's wife, Mary Ann. David Harbour, John Forehead Morris. I don't know if that's his official nickname, but it's the one I'm giving.
It is now.
Adam Scott as Agent Robert Fitzpatrick, and Corey Stoll from House of Cards, Fred Wyshak.
Yes.
Yeah, and there were more.
there were a lot more.
There were more. So apologies to all I left.
Yeah. Including one that I maintain is in it, but I cannot find any proof.
We need verification on this. I can't recall.
There is one point in the film where the Baconator is on the phone to, I can only imagine, his higher up, and they are telling him not to go after Whitey Bulger because he's such a good asset. And I am certain that it's Liam Neeson, but can't find any proof of that.
Anyone can confirm or deny that.
I mean, it's a single
or
phone
just
call.
Agree or disagree.
It's a single 30-second phone call in a 2-hour film, so I'm not surprised that they didn't write it down somewhere, but still.
Yeah, you think you would be able to find that out, but all right, where to begin?
I don't know.
Let's talk about Mr. Depp.
Mr. Depp.
Mr. Depp.
So I believe you would say that he'd been in kind of troubling.
I don't think most people would say he has been doing some flops. I would say
interesting choices.
I would say financially and creatively flops.
When would you say it started?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, we've gone over this at another podcast. The rise and fall of Depp.
But I would argue that Pirates of the Caribbean, while not necessarily,
they were definitely commercially successful.
Yes,
huge,
and definitely a good character for him.
Yes, but yeah, was it the Charlie or is it Charlie in there?
Well, there's.
I always inverted the titles.
Yeah, it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because it's about Willy Wonka.
Yes, exactly.
Whoever it's about, it's not them in the title.
Not the title, yes. But that and the whole Alice in Wonderland.
Although I will still go on record in that I didn't mind him in Charlie, not Chocolate Factory, in Alice in Wonderland. I thought he did alright.
But either way, I will declare the streak over. if you would concur with that or not.
Yeah, I would say it's a very, very unique role for him. I've not really seen this.
Because I was reading an article and it's, it should have occurred to me before, but he's always hidden behind a costume or a prop. If you think of Edward Scissorhands and, like all of that, they're like the Mad Hatter, the Willy Wonka character. They're always these eccentric kind of outsiders, but this was just really just bare bones dramatic role.
Yeah,
and I wrote down Depp is back, and his appearance, I think had the actual Pirates of the Caribbean makeup team or makeup artist or something. I don't know. I think he brought that person with him.
Sounds right.
And then just those ice blue contacts and the hair and the dead tooth and I would say that is one of the most frightening portrayals I can think of a character I've seen in recent memory. Just how intimidating and just plain scary he is. Just that glance he gives multiple times. There's one more word and you it'll be your last.
Well, shall we say the scene where they're sitting down to dinner and he asks the FBI guy over the table, Mr. Forehead. Yeah,
is that it? Showing him a screenshot.
He asked him, and I think it was in a trailer or something. What's the recipe for this? Family recipe. No, it's just this, and then he's just and you just gave that up. Mm-hmm. How do I know you're not going to give me up? And it is just a staring contest until he declares, "Oh, I'm just joking."
It was a little reminiscent of Joe Pesci. Do I amuse you?
Yes. Am I a clown?
Yeah, a little bit, and then I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. But very, very intimidating, and then
immediately after that, going upstairs to the wife.
Yes, I didn't know. I was going to get to that scene at some point, but just I would say an amazing scene by both of them, Julianne Nicholson and Johnny Depp. But the way he just manipulates and just imposes his will on her, and how she knows she has to keep it together. Until he leaves the room.
Yeah, you can't break down. Then it's over.
But that was just a terrific scene. I would say, I don't know anything more on Johnny Depp. I was going to go on the performances as a whole.
Just from Johnny Depp, I think that at the very beginning of the film, I saw him as Johnny Depp doing the character, and then round about that halfway point, it clicked for me into this is Whitey Bulger, rather than just Johnny Depp.
He definitely did disappear into the character. I would agree. Yeah, I'm like, Johnny Depp. Yeah. Oh, well, he's still looking like. It's still seeing Depp on the screen, and then it was Whitey.
Yeah, I think it was around about the time that his mother passed away, and he was a little older, and that I think for me that was the switch.
I would say overall, I would say this whole movie has some of the best acting I've seen this year. I would say I hate to call someone out, but I just think he was miscast. Adam Scott as the FBI agent. He's a comedic actor, which I'm,
No,
I'm not trying to pitch it, but that's what I view him as.
Yeah.
And I was just, I don't know. He didn't strike me as an FBI guy.
Well, there is that, and then also I felt whenever I saw him on screen, it's like, aren't you too young to be here? Like, everyone else is at least 15 years older than you.
But it was, almost Topher Grace-esque for American Ultra.
That's a little like, and what's he doing here? What's going on?
Yeah, but by and large, I would say all of the performances are really, really well done. Benedict Cumberbatch, of course. The Boston accents, both him and Johnny Depp, I thought the accents were amazing.
Yeah.
And not even just the accents, but the way Cumberbatch held his mouth and his just mannerisms and
I think there was only one word that he said that was like, okay, that was British. But the rest of it, but I will say I was keeping an ear out just to, because I figured if there was anyone in this film that was going to fall down on accents, it could be the British guy. Obviously people like Hugh Laurie who are just fantastic at accents, never mind. But Benedict Cumberbatch, never really heard him do an accent, so it was interesting to hear him going with that sort of an accent and doing it that well.
It was it almost took me out, how well it was almost took me out. I'm like, wow, I'm really listening to the accent. Whoa, I should be paying attention to the dialogue. What's the actual dialogue?
Well, it's an interesting accent. Did he say something?
Yes. Who's killing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just turn around to people behind you. Could you just double check that?
I would say more Cumberbatch. I made a note. More Cumberbatch. But to be fair, you could say that about pretty much any role. If it was 2 hours of just him talking, I would have said more Cumberbatch.
Well, and any film as well. Yes. This needs more Cumberbatch.
But yeah, I thought, I'm sure there were scenes cut, but
I'm
multiple.
Sure.
But
if a film is 2 hours long at the cinema, you know that there's probably 45 minutes that was cut out.
Yeah, Cooper's original cut was 3 hours.
Yeah, there it is.
So, but yeah, I could have gone for more of Billy Bulger. I thought it was an interesting relationship, not just because of Benedict Cumberbatch's talents, but to see more of that relationship because it's ties into another thing I wanted to bring up is I wanted more of his family life. For a little more counterbalance in the emotional weight of it. He's, by all reports, doing any research on Bulger, that he was a very dedicated family man. Obviously crushed by his son's death.
And then mom.
Yeah, and then his mom, and then the strained relationship with his brother, who obviously his brother has to keep his distance from Whitey's activities.
Yeah, if he wants to have a life, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have two polar opposites as far as career choices, really.
Yeah. Criminal mastermind and senator.
Politics.
Well,
yeah. I would say, but there was enough that I did feel that emotional weight when he calls him from the payphone, and and just I'm not going to be not verbatim here, but won't be seeing you for a while. And he's like, you don't have to. It's like, yeah, I do. I have to do this. This is the only play, or this is the only move I can do, and take care of take care of yourself.
Yeah, I find it. I mean, the end cards, you find out that he had to step down from a position which was actually the wrong position that they mentioned. But anyway, he had to step down because it was revealed he'd been in touch with his brother who was a fugitive. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been difficult for anyone not to. I mean, maybe I understand having to step down because of it or because of who your brother was, but
why couldn't he tell FBI that? My brother called me. He didn't tell me where he was. He hung up after 10 seconds. Am I in trouble for him dialing a phone? Yeah.
Well, no, exactly. I mean, you could even have a 30-minute conversation with the guy, but if he doesn't tell you where he is, how's that helpful?
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, I was really interested in that relationship, and
it was really cool. I didn't know how it was going to be because obviously Johnny Depp is a fair bit older than Benedict Cumberbatch, but I felt that they were able to give Benedict Cumberbatch, maybe it's just in the makeup or something, but they were able to do it so I could easily buy that they grew up together. There wasn't that much of an age gap between them.
Yeah, they definitely did a nice job on the makeup all around, I would say. For all, and then the mother too. I would have. There was that one scene where they're playing cards. I would have liked another. I mean, I guess that scene serves its purpose, and another scene would just be redundant. But
I was actually shocked that when he's back in the house after the mum died, that there wasn't a reference to the $56 or like $57, like something.
Yeah. Just the way the joking and you're cheating, you're cheating at the cards, and
it was such a cool way to show like how much he loves his mother. He's just, oh no, I'm doing badly at cards.
You've been feeding me hearts. I'm It's just I think that's something that would really tie a lot of audience members in, because that's something they can probably relate to. With they can't relate to a whole lot in this character, but that you letting your mom win at cards is grounded him a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think it was almost delusional of the mother to not have an inkling there.
Not to pick up on that, well, maybe ego, I don't know where to go from here.
I'm not sure. What have you got?
What have I got?
Yeah, I'm fresh from the film, so I haven't got many notes.
I wanted to talk a little bit with some of the issues I had with the film. We've been talking lots of praise. That editing and / running time of the film. I thought there were edit points that a lot of times seemed very odd. I can't think of a particular instance right now, but I know I felt it watching the movie where it was just like not a clean cut or just odd choices.
Well, they had one bit where it was just like a long, slow fade to black. It didn't go with maybe if they'd done it while he was killing someone, then that could have worked. But it was like he killed someone, then there was 30 seconds, and then there was a slow fade to black. It was like, okay, I'm not sure what you were holding on there, but all right, good for you.
And then the running time. I don't know how I don't like sitting through 3-hour films unless they're excellent. They gotta be excellent.
Depends on the film, but there are some films that can hold your attention for 3 hours.
This I think would have been better as a maybe 2:15, 2:20, not the solid 2 hours.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that was major studio influence.
Probably.
You gotta
no one's gonna want to sit
hours.
through 2 hours.
Two and a half scares people away. Whatever. But I thought it was cut down just a bit too much. I was missing more. I could have used I don't know if it would work how the script was written, but a little more of his backstory with Alcatraz.
That would have been interesting to see. I felt there was one point about 3/4 of the way through the film where I did that thing of like, I wonder how much longer this film is, because I felt like you have your slow scenes. That's fine. They were great active slow scenes and all that, and then you had your slightly faster paced stuff. But this section of the film just seemed to drag just a little bit long. It felt like they just put 2 really slow scenes back to back, which makes me think that maybe there was something there, but they were like, no, we'll cut it because it's not necessary. But that might have been the slightly quicker pace to get you still in it there. Like I don't know what it was. And then by the end of the film, I was back to not caring about how much longer the film was, because I was still into all these characters. So
I wasn't ready for the film to be over when it was. Like I knew it was wrapping up, but I was just I want a little more.
Is that it? I mean, it's spanning. How long is it spanning?
What was the first one? Like 75 or 76? Did it go?
Yeah, mid to late 70s, and then he
pretty
was
much
gone
up
by
to 2011. Well,
and then everything else was just a real quick wrap up at the end.
One quick scene. And the parking garage where he gets arrested, and then the cards, the wrap up text that are in almost all true story adaptations,
and some not true story adaptations as well.
Can't Hardly Wait, or Was that one? I don't know. Where they're like, what are they doing? Yeah, the teen comedies. Yeah.
I mean, it felt well paced except for that bit. But yeah, I do think that give us an extra 20 minutes of maybe like 5 minutes of him getting out of Alcatraz or something, and then an extra 15 minutes of even just him interacting with the community, because all we got was, I remember that old lady, and then that was it. Like, no more community. It was just the four main people of the gang.
Yeah, it was like tying back to the mother scene. It was like Cooper said, "Oh, we have that scene that serves its purpose. We don't need another one like it." Yeah, like that shows him being good. Well, you can have a little more of him helping the community out, because he was loved.
Yeah, and especially when he was getting more into his ruthless phase. Obviously, the idea is you're not supposed to be rooting for the guy, but the community was, so there had to have been a reason for that, and we just didn't see it at all after that. Well, you got to have a villain, but yeah,
it's a fascinating part of these types of personalities for me, because I'm watching that amazing show Narcos on Netflix. Still watching it, and that Pablo Escobar was loved by the Colombian people because he did so much for the poor. He built schools, did all these amazing things, and then he was also a ruthless drug lord murderer.
They were saying, like, "Oh, how do you get money for this?" I said, "Don't worry about it. It's fine."
And that brings me to, I did want to talk about the violence and how it was handled in this movie.
Okay.
Now, I am going to sound a bit contradictory to my American Ultra
not enough stance.
Now, I would say I really enjoyed how the violence was handled in this. It made me uncomfortable at times, and I mean that in a good way. Like it was tense and scary. Like going back to how just utterly intimidating this character is. Not even all the violence of him. His co-patriot, Flemmy, whatever. He had his moments too. But I really felt like in Goodfellas, which is an incredible movie, and I'm trying not to make too many more comparisons to that. But I mean, the violence there, I think, was a lot more stylized, and there were some brutal violent acts in Goodfellas, but in this film, I really felt they took their time with it. And there was apparently a torture scene that was cut, which I would like to see on
I would imagine we saw the end of it, if it's who I think it is.
Yeah, but there's one scene that just really plays with the audience beautifully, and that is the prostitute scene, picking her up, and everybody knows. Except the prostitute. Everyone watching the movie, everyone in the movie. She's the only one that doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah, it is one.
And it takes a long time to get there.
It does,
and it makes you like, okay, like, are they just gonna kill her in the car, or are they gonna and then just the insanity of just explaining this charade of you're gonna be in this house, and you can do things in this room, and then like, that is psychotic behavior.
I like to think that had she not mentioned that he hung out at the bar, I think that was the clincher, because everything she said...
I think she was toast either way. She was a loose end.
I'm sure. Especially given the weird relationship in there. That was, and at what point was it that guy had a girlfriend? Like, it just seemed like... What, you let your girlfriend's kid... Wait a second, he has a girlfriend? What?
Yeah. But,
this seems a bit shoehorned in just to have him kill a character. But whatever.
I don't know, but that was one of my favorite scenes. Just for the way it played with the audience, and just... Like, wouldn't let you get there till you're like, oh my god, just kill her already. Yeah. You're like, I'm just thinking that, please just kill her and get this over with.
Possibly the fastest snap in the film as well. Like, in the middle of the word heart is when he lunges. Like, it's great timing.
Yeah. And then just the coldness, clean up your mess. Yeah. And just,
And it was interesting as well, because obviously they said at the beginning of the film that there's this one spot that he always buried the bodies in, and then it's like, well, I guess it's now the basement of this house. I guess that's where all the bodies are now. By the end of that film, so it was. And what was that house like? It just seemed that they now have a house.
There was some missing pieces in there again. That's why I, kind of talking about the editing. I'm like, okay, where's this coming from? But I don't know. Did you have anything to add on the violence? I just thought the brutality of it was pretty.
Well, I'm sure that
incredible.
Given that it's a biopic film, I'm sure that a lot of it was how it happened. So, and you were saying to me before we started recording that a lot of the death scenes were shot at the places where the people were killed. So,
and that's I'm still deciding, is that just respectful, or is that or is that just a great help to the actors knowing those events actually occurred there?
Well, there's that, but I would say it is actually more respectful because they're trying to get the details right about how these people died.
I would see that argument. Yeah.
I understand it being disrespectful. It's like, this person died and now it's for entertainment. But given the if it was a comedy film and then you were parodying this guy dying in this place, fair enough. But something like this, I'm all for going as realistic as possible because you're actually doing a real story. It's one of the things I like about this film is it seems that they have attempted to stay as close as humanly possible to what actually happened without adding too much just for narrative or for convenience of plot.
Yeah, there wasn't any moment where I thought, there's no way that happened. Or, no. I'm sure there were liberties taken. There are in all of these based on true story movies, but but they didn't stand out like sore thumbs.
No, there'll be some scenes where, for instance, just before the sitting down with the pork chop scene where they're arguing in the kitchen. How do we know that was what happened? It could just be she just stayed in a room the whole day. She might not have been there at all, but. Those scenes you're fine with, and then the scenes that matter, the actual serious deals.
I have no idea if he pulled out an automatic weapon and gunned someone down in broad daylight in a car park, but
it could have just been a couple of handguns.
But that was definitely a trailer moment that I didn't mind, seeing. I'd seen it enough in the trailer.
I think they cut it differently in the film than it was in the trailer.
That sounds right.
Which is fine by me. I like the idea of having alternate cuts in the film, so the trailer doesn't fully spoil you on things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I think that. For instance, there was a trailer before the film, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was right now, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, and 3/4 way through the trailer, that's the end. That's the end of the film right there. It's the Apollo Creed film.
Yes. That was at the beginning of my trailer. That was in my trailer reel as well.
Yeah, so it's you see him training, and then he's in the ring, and it's he's gone down. Now he's up, pointing down yeah. It's well, how is that not the end?
It is I don't know if you're gonna. Technically a Rocky movie, so you kind of know where things are gonna go.
Either he's going to win or he's not. But based on that trailer, I'm putting my chips. I'm putting my chips on Creed for this one.
Tangent. How do you think the film looks?
How do I think that one looks? Looks like a boxing film.
Looks like a boxing film. I would say that is an accurate statement. Looks like Sylvester Stallone is old. I'm glad they're not having him fight, but
I'll say
I think it will be average and maybe a little above average.
Yeah, it looks to me like they are just trying to do a more modern looking version of the old film with a different family. So
yes, Rocky as the Mickey character, the trainer. But I love Michael B. Jordan is one of my favorite young actors, and it's just he needs a good one after the tragedy that was Fantastic Flop.
He did the best he could with what he had.
Exactly, and through no fault of that cast at all. Yes, which we discussed ad nauseum. But
let's try and steer this
back to black. Okay, I don't know.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's with the title of this film?
I tried to decipher that as well. I was hoping you would have that.
There is one point when they're in the church and that's for the funeral, and I thought maybe what's being said right now will somehow be a parallel, and the idea being that he's like, I guess maybe he's the preacher or something, and no, like nothing there at all, and I couldn't for the life of me work out why this was called Black Mass when there's
probably being a very bad Catholic here by not knowing what this means. Or
I would argue you're an incredibly bad Catholic.
Well, let's stop right there. But it's a travesty of the Roman Catholic Mass in worship of Satan.
Okay.
The Black Mass is a ritual characterized by the inversion of the traditional Latin Mass. Yeah.
I got a little bit of schooling for you guys.
Yes.
And I don't... unless they're arguing that Whitey Bulger was Satan, but I can't say I specifically found that in the film.
Yeah. Black Mass was originally or allegedly celebrated during the Witches' Sabbath. All right. The rest of this podcast, I will just read you Google entries.
Yes.
I mean, I just thought of that. I remembered.
Yes. Yes, he went into a bit of a trance there.
Yes.
Recalling his old school days.
Google, yes.
The Google school. But
but I don't know. I didn't mind the title. Like, it didn't bother me too much.
No, I had nothing against the title. I just didn't understand it. And even with that, I would say it's a bit of a stretch. Like, maybe if we saw the 3-hour cut, then it
would you have liked it to be called Whitey? Because I don't know if that would have gone over well.
It might have gone over well, but I think it would have been a better name.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain sect, I think, of the population that may not. Yeah.
Or just Bulger.
Bulger.
Yeah. Just the last name. I would say a lot of people are probably familiar with that. So, I mean, maybe there are some people that still have no idea that Black Mass is about Whitey Bulger.
Well, I guess apparently they changed it, which I didn't see it on the page. It says it was just Black Mass, but Black Mass : the story of Whitey Bulger, or something along those lines.
I can tell
but I don't remember seeing that.
That wasn't the case when I went to see it. So
that was just reading another famous movie website, and that was one of the trivia things on there. But who knows?
Yes.
Those are sometimes contributed by morons. So
yes,
we don't know.
One of my favorite little things from said website is if you go to the actors pages, they will not accept first-hand, like basically the actor can't go to them and write the synopsis. So one actor that I was looking up a few days ago got around it by writing it in the third person.
Oh, really?
So like he's like, IMDb does not allow first-hand accounts. So here is someone writing in the third person to let you know how this happened. And then it went through the whole thing.
That's pretty good.
Bravo, sir.
Yeah.
Wish I could tell you who it was so I could give them credit. But
I would love to know that, yes.
I'll have to try and look back later and find out. Maybe I'll tweet it out if I figure it out in the end.
Please do.
Yes. And then everyone that doesn't listen to this will be like, what? Why are you telling us this?
Yes, before we go any further here, gonna beat this dead horse, Paul.
Really? I didn't know you did that.
Yes.
And now it's time for Brian's cinema etiquette lesson.
The theater experience.
I think I'm gonna have to have like a little music here with Brian's theater experience.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it needs ominous tones. Wasn't a good one. No. Had two women at the very front of the theater, and I was more towards the back, but talked the entire film in their normal speaking voices.
Ooh. Oh dear.
The one did most of the talking. A lot of hand gesturing at the screen, a lot of pointing, and just. And I did look like it wasn't like a case of them being deaf or anything like that,
right.
You know. Like I wanted to make sure, like, okay, are they like, is she relating the events?
Yeah.
You know, like what's? But no, because she was also talking back, and not even tactfully, like it doesn't belong in the theater at all. But most people, if they can't help themselves and need to speak. Yeah. We'll do it in a louder part of the film, action sequences or a bit of score going on. This would be in the most quiet, or the quietest dramatic scenes, exposition, anything, and I just had. I'll be nice with this. I had the dumb lady commentary track turned on, and we could not get it turned off. And I didn't remember choosing that option.
Right now.
So I did want to give a disclaimer when we get to the ratings here, not too long away. Judging by the end of, we don't know. Yeah. You know better than we do on the running time.
Yes, at this point.
But I have a disclaimer because I couldn't help but not be affected by that.
Right.
Because I did miss certain bits. And that is why I would like to see this film again. And I'd be more than happy to adjust the rating if I need to. Okay. But I think I kind of maybe adjusted for that.
Okay.
And kind of gave it a little extra bump.
Okay.
Than what I might have.
Yeah.
Because it just, because it just upsets you, and then you're not thinking about the film, and you're thinking about how much you hate this person. And some people are like, well, why didn't you go tell her to be quiet? So, because that could easily backfire, and then she's just going to be louder and talk more and say, screw that guy. I want to talk during my damn movie, I'm going to talk during my damn movie. I'm in my living room, don't you know this is my living room?
What you need to do is just buy a small thing of popcorn and just start flinging it, like, not to eat, just as projectiles.
I want something a little harder, like a Skittle or something.
Yeah, true, but you get way more popcorn.
Yes, exactly, and I'd rather eat the Skittles. It's a toss-up. What's a better use? I don't know.
Now, I will say at this point, maybe the audience is thinking, are you sure it's not your choice of venue for the film? You seem to have these all the time.
I see them in different theaters. Like, I don't always go to the same theater, even though I prefer to go to the one theater that has the beautiful red leather recliners.
They are very nice.
I'll go ahead and mention. I'll get Marcus Theater.
Yeah, the Marcus in...
anyone's around, yes.
Yeah,
a beautifully run theater.
Near Worthington in Ohio. There,
yeah, it's just a well-run theater and nice little Art Deco exterior and But yes, I did not see that at this theater, and it still happens. I don't know. It's
maybe it's you.
I think it's just this energy of like I put off like, oh, I hope no one talks in this, and then someone feeds off of that. I don't know.
Someone walks into like someone's looking to enjoy this film.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I mean. It is rare now, like that I have an experience where someone isn't talking through a movie or phone, like, and that wasn't the only thing. So we had the two women talking, and then I had about two rows in front of me, guy checking his phone about every half hour.
So you got the flash,
the big lighting up his big dumb face, and it was like an iPhone 6 Plus, like so
the big
giant
one.
And just pull it up. Oh, okay, squirrel. Just pull you away from the screen. So it was tough to get into a rhythm, and then coupled with some of the editing issues I had, it was a little frustrating experience for me. But I certainly can't hold that too much to blame with the film, of course.
It's one of those things where I wish that you could do, and I know that some places do these, especially like Alamo Draft House in Texas, where you go in and there is a ruling where if you take your phone out and look at it, you are chucked out. If you talk louder than a whisper to the person next to you, you are taken out of the screening. And it's like the whole point of these places is to go and see a film. Well, if you're not doing that, you're out.
Yes. Well, when I win the lottery and I buy my theater and get it renovated, I will have Dr. Evil chairs. Every single one will be
just down,
just down into a fiery pit.
No. Into a pool, so it destroys their phone.
Yes. Oh, I like the way you're thinking. But yes, just I have the control. Yep. Then just anyone talk.
Yeah.
Okay. You get one strike, and then that's it. And second time, down the chute you go.
Yeah. I mean, I would add the caveat there that maybe you could have them as we're on the way and just be like, there is a chance, like, my son's in hospital, there's a chance I'll get a phone call, like, you can give that one person a parcel, or you can say, like, well, you sit here, and then you're by the exit, you can just go, or something like, But I think that would...
Or maybe not too harsh, maybe they're put into a room where it's, like, playing on a laptop. So now they have to watch this, and just with laptop speakers.
Yeah. Not great, just a little tinny sound.
So you still get to see the film. You can't say you didn't get to see the movie. But yes, you get to the children. Yeah, you've been grounded.
Yeah, or of course just have the two screenings simultaneously. You have the one for no phone, no talking, and the one for...
feel free to be an asshole in this room. Yeah. You have a lot of compatriots in here. So just talk and tweet and do whatever you want and have a movie playing on in the background. Yeah. That's clearly what you want to spend your $10 on. And rant.
Yes. For now.
For now. Until the next one. Let's hope not. Yeah.
That was Brian's cinema etiquette lesson. I think we should mention, we kind of touched on it, like the score for this film.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was one of those films where I noticed it the most, and it did a really good job of setting most of the scenes.
I enjoyed it as well, yeah.
I mean, I will say that there were a couple of times during the dramatic parts where I felt that having no score would have been just as effective, if not a bit more. But that's just personal preference. Maybe it's because, like, I noticed the music coming in, and I was like, I'm just trying to really focus on this guy being strangled
or getting shot through a car window. And like in front of children. Oh my god, that one was messed up too.
Yeah,
that wasn't Bulger. That was Fleming or whatever. But, just right up to the
right hand man.
Bam. Yeah.
That one, I actually had a bit of an issue with that. Like, if that actually happened, that was just plain dumb on that person's point, because this guy is leaving the club and he's said bye to these people. These kids have seen him, and the kids are right there. And you, someone that is trying not to tie yourself to this place, walk up to it, shoot the guy, turn around, and leave. Like, you couldn't have followed him home and done it? It's like a little less obvious, maybe?
Well, I mean, he's not really listening to Bulger's advice, even though it's not directed at him. It was towards his son, You're going to do something bad or cheat or whatever, make sure just no one's watching. Great lesson.
Rather than everyone watching.
So, but then he doesn't. Then he goes and shoots an automatic rifle in broad daylight.
I think he goes a bit off the deep end there.
Yes, do as I say, not as I do. I don't know. Time to rate?
I think so.
I believe I went first last time. I feel like I... No?
Probably.
American Ultra...
I don't know. Well, let's see.
Do I need to update American Ultra? No, I'm so happy with my 3.5. Okay.
Alright, well, I'll go first then. So, as I said, going into this, there's not really any acting in it that I could dock it for at all. Like, everyone's solid. Especially Johnny Depp, like a really good return to form, shall we say?
I would say he's in the 5th or 6th slot, I think, for a Best Actor nomination right now.
All right.
He's on the bubble, or just outside it. But
it'll be interesting to see if he gets a nomination. I mean, obviously,
I would fully expect him to get a nomination, and if he gets nominated, I would give him about 50% chance of winning. As political as the awards are, and that he doesn't have a statue. Yeah, so. But Eddie Redmayne probably deserves it back-to-back, so.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's fine. The great casting choices and acting choices by the people in it. Music was really good, even though, as I said, that there are a couple of points where I was like, yeah, just take the score out for a second, just give us the visceral stuff. And given that it is a biopic or biopic, depending on how pedantic you want to be, about a guy I knew nothing about going into it, and that it really held my interest. And I just had some issue with some of the pacing and stuff like that, and a solid looking film as well.
I would agree. Yes.
Yes, but I definitely enjoy the more gritty looking films. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to end up giving this film a critical point of -1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
I don't have much that I can knock it for, and
I thought it was that good. Huh?
I just think that the main failings were the pacing. I felt that one bit, and oddly saying that, I agree with you that it should have been longer. But yeah, and just a couple of bits here and there, I was like, yeah, that was okay.
I mean, it's short for that kind of movie.
Yeah,
2 hours is short for a biopic.
Yeah, I got you doing it.
Or a wicked true story. All right, got to piss off the Boston people with that horrible impression. But
yeah, it was that thing. It was like critically, really good. Like I don't know about China. I mean, if I was going with my own personal opinions on it, I'd probably say -1.5, -2, just because I thought it was good. But yeah, I found very little wrong with this. So well done them.
All right. For me, this movie was the performances. Once again, I didn't know a whole lot about this story before I became aware of the film.
Right.
And then I did do a little bit of research before I even saw it, just like who was this guy. And then I definitely still need to check out the documentary. Because it's supposedly fantastic, the documentary.
Well, maybe I'll look that too.
Yes, but the performances, except for that one, which I won't mention him again, because I still like the guy, but I thought there wasn't a weak link in the bunch. WikiLeaks.
No WikiLeaks here.
Yeah, no weak links in the bunch. And yeah, just Depp and Cumberbatch, like, I wouldn't mind seeing them in another movie together. That would be just fine by me. And Johnny Depp can keep making gangster movies, because that is a subgenre that he seems to do well in. Public Enemies, which I thought was decent, and then even Donnie Brasco, which, I mean, he wasn't that is a gangster film, but he, deep undercover, and
right.
Wasn't he in another one? I don't know. Probably. I'm blanking on it right now. Yeah. But for time's sake, I'll just move on. Yeah, so him and Cumberbatch, awesome. The way, like I said, I loved how the material was treated. I liked the violence. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I like how they dealt with it.
I know what you were talking about with American Ultra, where it was just kind of over stylized, whereas this was like gritty violence the way it would have been. Like it was well done.
Well, American Ultra for me, to bring that up, it was too much trying to look like Tarantino and like Kill Bill, where the floor's just covered in blood and
just over stylized, over the top,
huge geysers, coming out of people's necks and stuff. But this felt authentic to me, and might have even been a little more tame than real life. We don't know, because I would imagine the real violence might have gotten an NC-17 or some of the things that these people do to each other. But like you said, some minor pacing issues and some odd edit points I mentioned, and then just the negative experience I had in the theater, which, like I said, no fault to Black Mass and its makers. I'm coming in at a -2.
Okay. I can see. I can see any bad film theater experience is going to,
because there were, I'm sure, little plot points I missed, and because I could not hear.
Yeah,
and that's very distracting.
Yes,
so
and
it
very
takes you out
important
of
for reviewing
you
a
need
film.
the momentum. Yeah, so I'm like a line that happens 10 minutes later, I might not get the reference or the connection to, and that was a weird thing to say, but like, I didn't know that it made sense. Yeah. So a -2. I strongly recommend the film. I will see it again, if not to try to have a better experience, and because I enjoyed it and I want to watch it again anyway.
Right.
So yeah, it's a strong recommendation from me.
All right.
And thank you, Johnny Depp, for making a good film. Or being, and not doing Mordecai 2, which I'm sure he will.
Well, chances are that will happen.
Payday, more mustache twirling than the original. 20% more mustache twirls.
Yes, even his wife gets a mustache.
Oh god. Yes. Oh my god. I just want to go watch that movie now. Oh, it's so good. This a 90-minute mustache joke is what that movie is. Oh, all right. Sorry. Sorry on my Mordecai.
Well, moving away from the Mordecai thing.
Yes, please.
From the moustache twirling.
Yes. Do we have any things to add from our wonderful listeners?
Yes, a couple of shout outs to other podcasts here. I put out something asking if anyone else had any comments about Black Mass, and I actually only got one thing back from the A and B film podcast, or the AB film podcast, depending on how you want to say it. They have not seen it yet because it's not out yet.
Still commenting.
Yes. Yeah, they said they could not comment as it is not out yet down in Australia where they are. So please do go visit those poor sods that have to wait so long to see these films. They're really cool to listen to, as well as the Film Reel podcast. Yes. Always fun listening to.
Excellent. Yep.
And I didn't have anything else that they sent in, but I do want to say thank you to everyone that's following us.
And thanks again to Pod Bros.
And the Pod Bros network has been really great for us, and we seem to be getting followers quicker than I can keep up.
Thank you. Big thank you to the Pod Bros network.
And
I see the Twitter following just growing daily, essentially. So
do go check out the Pod Bros website. See the other guys in our
a lot of good podcasts on there. So yes, check those out for sure.
Yes, and then as we said at the beginning, do check us out on Twitter and all that if you haven't already. Just search Blockbusters and pretty much anything.
Saying it again, we love interacting and we love talking about movies. That's why we do this. So we like having that conversation with other people as well. So.
Yeah, and whenever I get the chance, I try to every week do a couple of different things. Like on Monday, I put out some fan-made movie posters that I find.
Beautiful fan-made, yeah.
And someone did call me out. I will try and give credit where credit's due when I know, but as much as I can. So it's just fun putting those things out there. Do go look through some of the stuff we've done. I'm trying to make little posters for our episodes, so that's kind of fun to do as well.
I'm looking at them now. I'm a few behind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just check those out. Check us out. Check everyone else out.
Just do a lot of checking out.
Just check out, people.
Yes, I'm sure they have checked out by now.
Well, we should probably follow suit then.
Yes.
All right. Well, I've been Paul,
and I've been Brian.
Yeah, folks.
All right.